What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mayo Jones here, back with another video. And this time we'll be doing our week 15 predictions for this week. And we finally made it towards getting close to the end of the regular season. Now, last week I went 8-6, which I did pretty good this week. And overall, my record is 131-76. So we're gonna get things started here. But before I give you my Week 15 predictions for this week, don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel more often, and comment down your opinion below to see who you got winning Week 15. So basically, I chose the Bucks to win 31-17, and all of a sudden they lost 29-28. So let's get things started here with the rest of the games. So we got the Cleveland Browns against Chicago Bears. The Bears are 7.5-point favorites against the Browns. So far, the Bears are coming off of a tough loss against Green Bay, while the Cleveland Browns are coming off of a tough loss against the Tennessee Titans, who allowed 30 points on the road. Now, as you all know, I'm taking the Bears to get back on track and win this game, and they will cover. And the reason for it is that the Bears so far, they're the more complete team. They're more stable with the quarterback position, and they're at home. And the Browns are just a joke. Like, they're going to lose in the game. Now, the Browns should have at least beaten the Titans, but somehow they're going to lose this game really badly to Chicago because you know what the Bears defense likes to do? They're leading the lead in takeaways, and they're good at taking the football away. And I think they're going to do that in this game. They're going to take the football away and force, they're going to take the football away and probably force Shedeur in some tough situations where they could lead to some bad sacks, turnovers, and all that, like some lost fumbles, interceptions. Like, the Bears defense is going to be able to dominate in this game. And like I said, the Browns defense is good, but they're not good on the road. And I think the Bears offense should be able to find a way to move the ball successfully on the ground, through the air. Like, their offense will thrive. I feel like Roman Dunze coming back could totally help this offense. So basically, I don't see this game being close. I think the Bears will probably start a lot faster because they literally got a top 10 offense right now. And I think they'll find a way to at least, give the Browns trouble. So I feel like if they get up early, they might blow the Browns out. So I think the Bears are probably going to score in the 30s. So maybe they win 30, maybe they score 35 points, maybe a 35-16, 35-9, 37-9. They'll probably win by multiple scores or something like that. So yeah, I'll take the Bears to win. I'll take them to cover as well. I know 7 is a big number, but I got them winning and covering that spread. All right, next game. We got the Baltimore Ravens against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Baltimore Ravens are 2.5-point favorites against the Bengals. Now, this game right here can totally go either way. Now, most people could be picking the Bengals to win because we already know what the Ravens are. Because we already know the Ravens, they have been struggling lately, and they have not looked pretty good offensively. And especially, did you even look at last game against the Steelers? They struggled against the Steelers. Basically, they just made Aaron Rodgers look like 2011 Aaron Rodgers, where he was making some big-time throws. And all of a sudden, the Ravens so far offensively have not been looking good. I mean, they can run the football. I mean, their passing game has not been great. Lamar, he's not as accurate as he was in the past. He can't, move off his legs. Lamar seems like he's not the same player. Now, if Lamar is not the same, then the Ravens are not the same. And the Bengals, so far, yeah, I know their defense is not good, but they're going to score some points because their offense is really good. I hope T. Higgins is back, but now I found he's ruled out. And we already know Jamar Chase owns their secondary, and the Ravens can barely stop the run. It could be a problem. Because you know the Ravens like to play too much man coverage. And by the way, as I look at this offense, like, because this offense so far is not looking like the same as it was. It looks different. Like, think about it. Like, we've seen the Bengals so far. They moved the ball against the Bills really well, but they had turnovers. But their defense is not good. But last time these two teams played, they did smack them. That's without Trey Hendrickson, but they don't have Trey Henderson in this game. So I think the Ravens offense can play a lot better because we already know Lamar needs to play better, and the offense got to play better as well. And I think they will in this game because the Bengals have got an atrocious defense that likes to play a lot of man coverage and all that. And the weaponry for the Ravens could be a problem, like Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, DeAndre Hopkins, and etc. So yeah, so basically I really don't want to see the Bengals sweep the Ravens because we already know that last time they did with Joe Burrow, and the Ravens pretty much have owned them for the last few years. So it's a tough game to choose. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Ravens to win because I think the Ravens need to win this game if they really want to make the playoffs. And I know they're not playing good football right now, but I think they will in this game. I'm going to take the Ravens to win because I just really think the Ravens are going to have a little bit more to play for, and I think they're a much more better team than the Bengals because I don't think the Bengals are a great team, and I don't really trust their defense. Yes, at home, but at the same time, the Ravens are like the much more complete team, and I just really think the Ravens offensively are just going to overpower them because we know the Bengals can't stop anybody. Like they can't stop the run, they can't stop the pass. Like Lamar is probably gonna dice them up, which I think he will in this game. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Ravens to win. I'll take the Bengals with the points because I think this game will be close and I think it's gonna be high scoring. Maybe like a 31-27 or maybe like 34-31, something like that. Somewhere in that range. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Ravens to win and I'll take the Bengals to cover. All right, next game we have the Los Angeles Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is 4.5 point favorites against the Chargers. Um, this game right here can go either way. Now I know a few people could be picking the Chargers to sweep the season series because the Chargers are playing a lot better football than the Chiefs, and we know the Chiefs have been struggling lately because we already know they've lost to the Texans by double digits, and the Chargers are coming off a win against the Eagles. But one thing about the Chargers is that the Chargers defense has been playing really well recently, though. We've seen the Chargers defense force 4 turnovers in that game against the Eagles. But their offense was not really good. I mean, Justin Herbert got sacked 7 times, and all of a sudden their offense couldn't do much. Like they were giving up a lot of pressure and things like that. So yeah. And on the other side, their offense so far is pretty good, but their O line is beat up with injuries. And the Chiefs so far pretty much have injuries on the offensive line as well. So I hope they get Trey Smith back, which that could totally help. But I feel like with their whole offensive line being out yesterday against the Texans was a problem because we already know that they gave a lot of pressure. Mahomes had turnovers in this game, which that was terrible. But I think the Chiefs offense will play a lot better here, and I think they'll have more time possession because I really think Rashee Rice and Worthy could be a problem. And then the Chargers. I understand the Chargers do have a really good sound pass defense because I feel like James can take Kelsey out of the game, which that's great because we know Kelsey did not have a good game last week because Texans took him out of the game. I think, the Chargers so far, defense is going to keep them in this game because Jesse Minter's been a really good defense coordinator for them as well. And I just really think that when you look at the Chiefs so far, I think the Chiefs defense so far, I feel like they can get after Herbert and get pressure on him. And Spags can totally create some pressure. He might get some blitzes on the Chargers offense as well. I hope they get Trent McDuffie back, which that could totally help because he got hurt and he left the game early. But if he plays, I think, that'll be a huge upgrade. But at the same time, I feel like, going to Arrowhead is a tough place to play at, and it's really hard to sweep the Chiefs, especially going on the road in Arrowhead, especially with the bad offensive line with injuries that the Chargers have. And I really think the Chiefs are going to make more plays on offense where the Chargers, with their issues that they have in the offensive line, which is their Achilles heel, which as kind of might cause them to lose the game. Because I think the Chiefs so far can do what Jacksonville did, force Herbert off his first read, stop the run, stop the pass, blitz as much as you can and make the Chargers pay, you know. So, yeah. So basically, I think this game will be a close game, but I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win this game because they really have to win this game if they really want to keep if they want to save their season. Because if they don't, their season's over. Because we already know they're already eliminated from AFC West title contention. Because we already know they're not gonna win the division. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win. I'll take the 4.5 with the Chargers because I think the Chargers so far can do enough offensively to move the ball against the Chiefs because we know the Chiefs defense has been up and down lately. And the Chargers, we already know their defense. They're good against the pass, but they've been susceptible against the run, and the Chiefs can run the ball on them a little bit. So yeah, I think this game will be a close game. Give me the Chiefs to win this game, but I'll take the Chargers with the points. I think it's gonna be like a 4-point game or a 1-point game, something like that. Probably like a 24-23 or like 28-24, 30-24, something like that. I don't really know the Chiefs are going to be able to score 30 points on Chargers defense, which that's concerning. So I'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chargers to cover, but I'll take the Chiefs to win the game because they really need this more than the Chargers do. Next game, we have the Buffalo Bills against the New England Patriots. The Bills are 1-point favorites, half-point favorites against the Patriots. Obviously, the Bills are coming off a massive win against the Bengals, and the Patriots are totally coming off a bye, and they've been coming off a winning streak so far. And the last time they haven't lost since week 3, that was against the Steelers. So basically, this game right here can totally go either way. Now, I know a lot of people could be picking the Patriots to sweep the season series because they think the Patriots are going to win the division. But depending on the weather, it's probably going to be snowy in there in the environment. It could be cold. But at the same time, it could be a lot of Bills fans there. Because we know last time when these two teams played, the Patriots did beat them, which they did beat them on the road by like 3 points. Now, this is different. It's games in New England where it's weather delay. It could be cold there. We know the Bills are really good in the cold. But the same thing is that I really think the Patriots so far have a really good underrated defense, especially a really good pass defense. I mean, they have a really good run defense, but they're really not good against the pass, and we already know they're going to get explosive plays here and there and all that. Which I already know they pretty much do because we already know they've been good on defense lately. Like, they've been good against the pass and against the run. The Bills so far have a top 10 defense. I mean, they're susceptible against the run, but not good against the pass. I mean, they're good against the pass. I mean, they have the second best pass defense in football. And the Bills pretty much have a good offense as well. But we can see this being a high-scoring game because so far we can see it going back and forth. But at the same time, I feel like, if long as the Bills stay healthy, I feel like if they get reinforcements bad that can help their run defense. I feel like getting Joey Bosa back could totally help their pass rush. But yeah, but I think the only way if the Bills win this game is that if their defense can contain Drake May, stop the run, and force some mistakes, because I think they can do that, because I don't think the Patriots receivers aren't good outside of Diggs, and they're gonna stop the run. Because the Patriots run game has been great, but I think the Bills defense can get pressure and they can stop the run really, find a way to stop their running game. Their run defense has not been good. But I just really think that Josh Allen, he could take advantage of a Patriots defense that can give a big plays, but it doesn't really matter who the Patriots have in their secondary. They give up a lot of explosive plays because that's what they do. So basically, I think this game will be closer. I think it could be low scoring, but I, it's hard for me to say that the Patriots are going to sweep the Bills, because I just don't really see it happening. Though it's especially with Josh Allen in your division, the Bills, fighting for a wild card spot, because I feel like the Patriots will probably clinch a playoff berth if they win. But at the same time, I don't think the Patriots are going to sweep the Bills, because I think the last time they did was since like 2018 or 2019. Like, I don't remember last time. So I'm going to take the Bills to split the season series and win this game, because I think the Bills need it. I feel like New England is due for a loss, because they've been so lucky to win every week, and they haven't lost since week 3. And I think this is the time I think they're going to fall short, because I think the Bills need to win more than the Patriots, because I feel like the Bills are trying to clinch a wild card spot. So, yeah, I'll take the Bills to win. I'll take the Patriots to cover to keep this game close. I think this game can end like a 24-23 or like a 24 like to 21, something like that. I think it could be more like a lower scoring game than we think. So, giving the Patriots the cover, but giving the Bills to win the game. All right, next game, we have the Washington Commanders against the New York Giants. The Giants are 2.5-point favorites against the Commanders, because we know the Giants have not been favored all season. So, yeah. And as we already know, the Giants are coming off their bye week, which that's great. And the Commanders so far are coming off of a shutout loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, they don't got Jaden Daniels playing this game. Now, they will be back to Mariota once again. And so far, the game go either way, and the Commanders so far have pretty much have like a good offense, and this defense so far has not been great. Because we already know both defenses. It could be a high scoring game because both defenses are just a joke, because we know they can't stop anything. But at the same time, the Commanders and the Giants can't stop both two teams can't stop the run, and they can't stop the pass. But yeah, the Giants do have better offense than the Commanders. But the Commanders, so far lost to the Vikings. And the Giants so far have lost to the Patriots. Like, the Giants, Jackson Dart was scared of his own shadow, where he was getting hit by Christian Ellis. Like, being scared of his own shadow. And I think the Commanders so far, and the Giants defense cannot stop the run. I think the Commanders offensively are going to run the ball. They're going to run hard. And they pretty much got better weapons, like Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. Like, yeah, Zach Ertz is out, but it doesn't matter. Commanders do have weapons on offense that can really, really threaten the Giants defense. That not good against the pass. And I think Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel could be a problem, but we know Deebo Samuel is not really good. I mean, Terry McLaurin's probably the only guy that can separate. And Debo looks like he's running in quicksand, and he's not looking like he's any good anymore. So basically, I think this is going to be a lot closer. But I'm going to take Washington to win because I think Washington so far has a much more better quarterback, much more better coaches. And I just really think they're just like a much more complete team. And I just really think that their defense so far, I think it could play a lot better because we already know Dan Quinn. We already know he could be on the hot seat. But I feel like the Commanders probably need to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. I mean, so they can have the coach save his job. And I just don't really think that the Giants' defense is going to be good enough to get stops and all that. But so yeah, but they do have a great pass rush. But at the same time, their secondary is very suspect. And I think the Commanders' offense can take advantage of that. So yeah, so basically, I know it's in New York, but I'm just gonna take the Commanders to sweep the season series. I'm gonna take them to at least win the game in high scoring fashion, like a 38 to 34, 33, or like 33 to 31. They're probably gonna win by like 2 points. They might win by one or two or maybe three. But I know it's gonna be a high scoring game because I feel like both teams so far don't have a great defense, but both good offenses that can move the ball on each other. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Commanders to win straight up. Next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. The Las Vegas Raiders against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 11.5-point favorites against the Raiders. So far, I really think the Raiders might cover this game because the Raiders, so far have a great defense of line, but their secondary is not great. Now, the Raiders' defense is like top 15, but their offense is just sketchy, like it is, though. Like, the Eagles defense might be able to dominate in this game, which the Eagles did dominate last week, because we seen the Eagles defense sack Herbert 7 times, and all of a sudden they lost this game to the Chargers, where they have 4 turnovers. Now, Jalen Hurts absolutely stinks. He holds onto the ball for so long. He's scared of his own shadow. He runs around so much. Like, it's just crazy. And I think the Raiders defense can totally take advantage of the Eagles offense that cannot run the football and that can't throw the football. And yeah, the Eagles defense is good, but they're not good against the run. We see them now, they're good against the pass, but they're not good against the run. And I felt the Raiders can get the run game going, but we already know the Raiders can't run the football. And I think the Eagles defensive line can get past that. Because we know they're starting Kenny Pickett, who's an absolute, who absolutely is a gunslinger and who's not any good. Like, Kenny Pickett stinks. Yeah, this could be the Kenny Pickett revenge game, but at the same time, he's not really good. No Geno Smith. That's a huge hit to the Raiders offense. And I don't think the Raiders offensively have the weapons to at least like take advantage of the Eagles secondary. Like, I don't think they have the offensive firepower to do that. But I think the Eagles offensively can play a lot better. But they got a lot better in the passing game against the Chargers, where Jalen Hurts did outplay him for 240 yards. And they start to get the run game going like in the third quarter. Like, yeah. But I just don't really think the Raiders' their offense is going to be able to keep up. So I I think the Eagles are going to win this game. So I'm taking Philly to win because they're a more complete team. They have the better quarterback and they have the better coaching staff and they're at home, and they're like the more complete team overall. And I feel like this is a bounce back spot after losing 3 straight games in a row, because I think they do get back on track, after losing 3 games in a row, because they pretty much need this win if they really want to stay in the wild card race, if they want to edge for like the number 1 seed. So yeah, so I think the Eagles, they're probably gonna win by multiple scores. So maybe like 20-10 or like 27-17. Maybe they win by double digits or maybe more than that. So I'll take the Eagles both ways. I'll take them to win and take them to cover because we already know the Raiders can't cover anything. But yeah, I understand the Raiders are cheaters. We already know they're incompetent. Like they're so confusing. But at the same time, the Eagles so far are just a better team overall. And that's why I'm just taking them both ways. I'm taking them to win and cover. Next game, we have the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jags. The Jags are 11.5-point favorites against the Jets. This is a big number, but as you all know, I'm taking Jacksonville to win. I'm taking them to cover that big spread because Jacksonville so far is overall better roster. They have the better quarterback and coaching staff. They're at home in this game. And so far, Jacksonville, they pretty much have a better defense. Like, they have the best run defense. And they have the best, they're not good against a pass, but they're good against a run. And I don't think the Jets really have the offense to get past that. Like, we don't know who's starting quarterback. Like, Justin Fields is out, Tyrod Taylor's questionable, and now they're starting a third string, which that's crazy. Like, I think the Jaguars so far can do enough offensively to move the ball against the Jets secondary. I feel like Brian Thomas and Jacoby Myers is going to have a good game, and they could be a problem for the Jets secondary that has no cornerbacks. Like, that's a terrible matchup because we already know the Jets like to play a lot of man coverage. And Trevor Lawrence at times is very good at those things. Because I feel like he has a great performance here. And, on the other side, I feel like their D-line is gonna dominate the Jets with their O-line because we already know the Jets, there. Because we already know the Jets so far. Because we already know the Jets so far have not looked like the same team as we all know because they're the worst team in football. And they are starting third-string quarterback. And I don't think their offense is going to be able to keep up as well. I think Jacksonville's defense can take advantage of an overwhelming offensive line that the Jets have, and I don't think the Jags defense will get overwhelmed by that. So yeah, so basically, I think Jacksonville wins this game easily. I say it could be like a blowout or something like that, but I think they're gonna win by multiple scores. So I'm gonna take the Jags to win, and I'm gonna take them to cover as well, even though the 11.5 points is big. So yeah. Next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals against the Houston Texans. Houston's favored by 9.5. Obviously, so far, I got to take the Texans to win. I'm taking them to cover as well because they're playing a lot better football right now than the Cardinals are. I mean, the Cardinals, they stink. Like, the Cardinals so far are decimated with a lot of injuries. Like, look at this list. Like, look at this. Like, Bilo Knowles, Jalen Thompson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mac Wilson, Paris Johnson, Walter Nolan, Justin Jones, like Sean Murphy Bunting. Like, this defense is decimated with injuries, especially their offensive line. And they're playing against Jacoby Brissett, who's very inaccurate and can't make big throws because he's not as accurate. He can't move. He can't extend plays. Like, sure, like Michael Wilson could totally look like Jerry Rice against his Texans defense. Well, no, not against the Texans corner group. Like, the Texans secondary is really good. They're good against the pass and they're good against the run. And it's going to be hard to run and score on them as well because, the Texans D-line, they can get pressure. They can stop the run. They don't give a lot of big plays. Because we see what they did to the Chiefs. They forced a couple turnovers, and didn't give a lot of explosive plays. And so far, the offense wasn't good, but they still found a way to win it. But I think they can find a way to win this game, though. Like, I could see them easily blow out if their offense can have a good performance and their defense does. Like, it could happen, but yeah, it'll probably be like a 2 to 3 score game or something like that. But the Texans should easily win because they're the more complete team and have the better quarterback and coaching staff. They're at home. Like, they're the more complete team as well. And they pretty much have the better defense at home as well. So, yeah. So, by the way, I got the Houston Texans winning this game, and I got them covering that spread as well. So, yeah. So, giving the Texans both ways to at least stay in race for the playoffs and also stay in race for, like, first place in the division. All right, next game, we have the Green Bay Packers against the Denver Broncos. The Packers are 2.5 point favorites against the Broncos. Now, this is totally the game of the week. This is totally that could totally be my trap game of the week because we already know that the game can go either way because both teams so far have pretty much a great defense, but their offenses, okay, let's say Packers offense is a lot better. The Broncos offense is mid, and we already know that the Packers defense, what they like to do, they like to play a lot of zone coverage, and the Broncos like to do on offense is throw the ball behind the middle of the field or throw the ball underneath and go down the field, and they're good at making short passes. And the Broncos have a quarterback that's very inaccurate in Bo Nix, where he can't make some plays, he can't escape pressure very well. And the defense so far, it's one of the best in football. But it doesn't matter how good it is, but they give a lot of explosive plays, and we know what they're going to do against Green Bay. They're going to give a lot of explosive plays because Green Bay has a better passing offense in them. Like, Christian Watson could be a problem. He's gonna have a day. Jaden Reed's gonna have a day as well. Yeah, their offense is totally gonna they got great receivers that can really move the ball against them. Josh Jacobs, we already know he's coming back and he's beat up with an injury, which both teams are not going to be able to run the ball as much because they're both good on the defensive line and the secondary. Yeah, it'll probably be a low-scoring game, but I think the only way that I feel like the Packers, they can just take that same game plan that they had. Play some game. They can just play some man coverage the way they want to because, the Broncos receivers aren't good outside of Courtland Sutton, and they can just stop the run and just force Bo Nix off his first week, and they have a chance. But sure, can the Broncos win if their defense dominates? Yeah, but at the same time, it's a mismatch, and, the Packers pretty much have a better offense, and I don't think Denver can keep up. So yeah, so I think this could totally be a lower scoring game, but I think Denver is gonna be due for a loss. So I'm gonna take the Packers to win the game because I think the Packers so far have the better offense. And I think they do have a great defense that can really take the top off in an offense that can really give the Broncos offense a lot of trouble where they can't run the ball, which I don't think Denver has a strong running game. And I don't think their passing game is really good. But the Packers defense is insane. It's very good. And I just don't really think, they got Micah Parsons flying around, and he could totally be a problem for that Broncos offensive line. Because Denver's offensive line is good, but I don't think it's very incompetent. So I think the Packers defense can win in this game. I think it could be a low scoring game, like I mentioned. Maybe the Packers win a 20-16, 16-13, something like that. So yeah, so I'll take the Packers to win. I'll take them to cover as well. Because I think Green Bay has the much more better quarterback than the Broncos as well. So, yeah. So, give me the Packers both ways. Give me the Packers to win and the Packers to cover. Next game, we have the Detroit Lions against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites against the Detroit Lions. The Rams are coming off of a win against the Cardinals, a blowout win, while the Lions are coming off of a win against the Cowboys. Now, we know a lot of people are going to be on the Rams to win because we know Rams got the better quarterback and all that, and they're the much more better team. But yeah, the Rams could totally win that game because we already know that, the Lions so far have a lot of injuries on defense. Brian Branch is out for the year due to Achilles. Terrion Arnold's out. Kirby Joseph's questionable to play. I mean, half their secondary could be out. So let's look at the injuries so far. I gotta look. Let's look and see. Now, so far, Kirby Joseph's out again. So they're missing half of their secondary. And their offensive line's dealing with injuries. Like Taylor Decker is questionable to play. And now the Rams, I did hear that Devontae Adams has a hamstring. He's questionable to play as well. So that's something you got to look out for. So, yeah, this is like a mismatch, though. But I think the Rams, we already know the Lions like to play a lot of man coverage. And the Rams, offensively are really good at beating them. But at the same time, the Rams do have a pass rush that can really give the Lions offense some fits. And Jared Goff is completely a guy who can check down, what the Lions like to do offensively. Like, they like to, do some screen passes, to Amon-Ra 7 yards. A screen pass it gives to, in the middle of the field, J-Mo running routes on a screen pass, on a forward pass, hitting 15 yards to get first down this, first down that. Yeah. And the Lions did a really good job of that against the Cowboys. I think they can do it again against the Rams. The Rams don't have a great secondary. They don't have great corners that can really match up with the Lions receivers. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo Williams could be a problem for that. And I feel like if Lonzo Rams defense, if they can slow down Jahmyr Gibbs, they have a chance. Because we already know the Lions can run the ball, and the Rams, I don't think they have a strong running game. And the Lions' defensive line is really good. I mean, they're good against the run, but they're just mediocre against the pass. They're just being very predictable right now on those sides. But I think it'd be close. But given the fact that the Lions so far have been very consistent against the Cowboys, I'm probably going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Lions to win. Because I think the Lions offensively can move the ball against the Rams defense. I feel like they can move the ball on anybody. Yeah, we know Matthew Stafford's playing like MVP and such like that. Yeah, but at the same time, the Lions so far, they pretty much have the offense so far to move the ball against the Rams defense, especially against a secondary that has no cornerbacks. Yeah, sure. But can the Rams win if their defense dominates and that their offense can dominate? Sure. But at the same time, I just have a feeling the Lions, have the edge here. So, yeah, I feel like the Rams are a better team, and I know they're at home and the game's in LA, but I feel like the Lions can do good on the road, stopping the run, forcing mistakes and turnovers. But I feel like if they can do that, they have a chance. But I think the Lions will find a way to win convincingly. So I'm taking the Lions here. Next game, we have the Carolina Panthers against the New Orleans Saints. Carolina is favored by 2.5. Obviously, as you all know, I am going to take the Panthers to win this game, and I am going to take them to cover. Now, here's why. I mean, because I feel like the Panthers got the better quarterback. They're the more complete team, and they have the better running game. And the Saints so far, they're really not a good team, despite them winning against the Buccaneers, which that's tragic. And, Tyler Shuck, the Saints fan would be like, oh, Tyler Shuck is really good and all that. Because now he could be the guy. But, yeah, but at the same time, the Saints don't really have good offense. They can't run the football. They can't throw the football. like the Panthers defense can take advantage of that because right now their defense is mid. Like they can barely stop the run and stop the pass as well. The Saints offense, they're gonna like move the ball like they did last week because they were able to do that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they'll be able to do that against the Panthers because Panthers defense isn't great and Carolina has better offense and the Saints don't have a great secondary. I think T Mac can have a good game. Like Leggett can have a good game. Cooker can. Like I feel like these young guys can have a good game. And I feel like Bryce Young can as well because he's been playing his best so far throughout the past couple of weeks. And his defense has come along playing really well. And the Panthers are looking to keep their playoff hopes alive because now they have a chance to at least like make the playoffs and clinch a wild card spot as well for like the first time since like 2017 since they made the playoffs. And I think the last time they won the division was since like 2015. So yeah, that might have been like 10 years ago. So 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 yeah, so by the way, I'm taking Carolina both ways. I'm gonna take them to win. I'm taking them to cover because they're coming off a bye, having extra time to prepare and all that, and they have more to play for. And since the Saints, they're not gonna make the playoffs because we already know they're eliminated from playoff contention, especially against the NFC South title. So yeah, so give me the Panthers both ways to win and cover, but I feel like it's gonna be close. Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 12.5-point favorites against the Titans. As you all know, the Niners are coming off a bye. They should have an extra week to prepare. Now, we did hear news that Brandon Ayuk might not play again this year because they haven't heard anything about that saying that he might not play again because they haven't opened his practice window yet. But you know what? Kyle Shanahan, I understand Niners don't have their best players on defense. They don't have Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, which I know that's a huge blow. But their young defense is playing a lot better. But Robert Saleh, is the best defense coordinator in football. He's been getting his guys playing. And the Titans so far come off of a win against the Browns. Like, yeah. Like, their offense was able to play better and able to put some points on the board. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that against this Niners defense. Because the Niners defense is playing with a lot of sound. They can stop the run, but they're not good against the pass. But the Niners, they can't run the football, but they can throw it. And the Titans defense, I don't think is as good. And the Titans offense is not as good as well. Like, I think the Niners defense can dominate the line of scrimmage. And Kyle Shanahan is fighting for Coach of the Year, and I feel like he's gonna have answers for the Titans defense, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, like those guys can totally be a problem for the Titans secondary. And their O line is pretty good; it's much better than the Titans, and their D line is much better than the Titans as well. And I feel like Keon White has totally helped them get to the quarterback. And Jair Brown's been playing really good in the secondary, yeah, I mean, this Niners defense is pretty much loaded and it's playing good. So, and they're tough to run on and they're tough to throw on. Yeah, so I'm definitely taking San Fran to win this game because they have more to play for to come up with a bye. They're a more complete team and they have the better quarterback and coaching staff and they're at home in this game where the Niners are good at home against bad teams. So, yeah, I'm taking the Niners to win. I'm taking them to at least cover that 12-point spread. Even though the spread is big, they're going to cover because we already know the Titans can't cover anything. But, yeah, the Titans did cover against the Browns, but that's the Browns. But anyway, it's against a Niners team that's really good at covering. So, I'm definitely taking the Niners both ways to at least win and cover. So, give me the Niners to win and give me the Niners to cover as well. I feel like McCaffrey can have another good game as well. So, yeah. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts against Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites against the Colts. The Colts are coming off of a massive win against the They're coming off of a massive win against the They're coming off a loss against Jacksonville, and Seattle's coming off a big win against the Falcons. And now they got old man Phillip Rivers playing, which he could be a grandpa. Like they're playing against old man Phillip Rivers. I mean, I don't really care if he's starting. I feel like Seattle, they're still gonna win this game because they pretty much have the best defense in football. Like the Colts so far have not been looking like themselves recently. Like their run game is good, but their defense has not been great. And the Seahawks offense has been very good. Like they're playing a lot better football now. And I feel like, Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be a problem for that Colts secondary, especially without Sauce and Ward. Like, that could be a problem. Kupp can have a good game. Shaheed can have a good game. Like, those weapons on offense can have a good game as well. Like, so far, the Seahawks do have an elite defense that can really man up against the Colts corners. And against the Colts receivers. And I really think that, and I just really think that, I don't think the Colts are going to be able to run the ball effectively against the Seahawks defense because they're good against the run and they're really good against the pass, which they did improve that. And I don't think the Colts offense was going to have enough time because I really think the Seahawks defense played with a lot of sound. And I just really think that when you think that the Seahawks offense plays a lot of sound, because if I look at that, Seattle pretty much has a better quarterback and coaching, and they're at home, which Seattle is a tough place to play at because they're at home because of that crowd noise. And I think they can force a lot of mistakes where the Colts could totally give up pressure and give up a lot of sacks or turnovers, and the Seahawks defense does a really good job with that. So, yeah, so it doesn't matter if Phillip Rivers is going to start or not. I'm still taking Seattle to win the game. They're probably going to win by multiple scores because I don't think the Colts can keep up as well. But yeah, their offense is totally pretty good, but it feel like it's taken a step back so far. And I feel like they're not heading the right direction. And Seattle's totally heading the right direction where they could looking to clinch a playoff berth as well. So yeah, for that reason, I'm taking the Colts both ways. I'm taking the Colts to win. I mean, for that reason, I'm taking the Seahawks to win, and I'm taking the Seahawks to cover. The next game, Sunday Night Football, we have the Minnesota Vikings against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6.5 favorites against the Vikings. The Vikings are coming off a win against the Commanders, and the Cowboys are coming off of a 2-possession loss against the Detroit Lions. By the way, this game right here can be interesting, because we know the Vikings pretty much have a really good sound defense, but they can barely stop the run, but they have a great pass defense. And so far, I feel like what the Vikings defense going to do, we can see them force the Cowboys offense in some tough situations. But at the same time, the Cowboys, are coming off of a loss against the Lions where their defense did play bad in the game, giving up 44 points. But I think the Cowboys offense can totally play a lot better because they have the best passing offense in football, but they can barely run the football. I feel like having CeeDee Lamb, being fully healthy, coming off a concussion, that could help. George Pickens can have a bounce back after coming off a disappointing game, and CeeDee Lamb can as well. He had over 100 receiving yards before he got injured. So yeah, Jake Ferguson is questionable to play, which I doubt he plays. I feel like Tyler Guyton is questionable to play, which he didn't play last week, but I think he will play this week. And so far, the Cowboys, I feel like offensively, despite the Vikings having a good defense, I think the Cowboys offensively can find ways to move the football. And Dak Prescott is a pretty good quarterback where, the Cowboys offense can find a way to know where to go with the ball, and and pick up, the RPOs and the blitzes and to figure out where to know what to go with the ball. And so far, their defensive line is pretty much good, where that can totally give the Vikings offense some. And we already know on the other side, the Vikings have a beat up offensive line with injuries, and the Cowboys really have a good defensive line that can really give the Vikings offense some fits where they can totally fits where the Vikings find a way to move the ball on the ground and and stuff like that. What they like to do on they can get the Vikings offense some issues where the Vikings like to do on the ground. And JJ McCarthy has been very inconsistent lately. He can't throw, he's very inaccurate. And I felt the Cowboys defense can play a lot better here. Get pressure, force JJ McCarthy off his first week and you have a chance. But yeah, the Vikings got some good weapons on the outside, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, the Vikings offense is not as good as it was last year, and they've totally not looking like themselves recently, except for last week against the Commanders. But that's against the Commanders, who have a bad defense. But that's Commanders team. But I think Dallas, is probably going to score. Yeah, but it's like a mismatch, and I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to keep up though. But can this game be a lot closer? Sure, but at the same time, I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to keep up against this high-power Cowboys offense. And I feel like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens could be a problem for that because we know the Vikings like to play a lot of man coverage. And, and the Cowboys are really good against that, and they've been good against pressure and against the blitz. So, yeah, if the Cowboys can get the ball out quick and start fast, they might have a chance to win or even blow out the Vikings. So I will take the Cowboys to get back on track and win this game after coming off of a disappointing loss against the Lions. Because I feel like they really need to win this game if they want to save their season. Because I feel like the Vikings season is pretty much on the decline, which I don't think they're going to go anywhere. And the Cowboys is looking to clinch a wild card spot. So, yeah, and pretty much the Cowboys do have the better quarterback. They're at home, and they're the more complete team as well. But this game is in Minnesota. I could totally change my mind because Minnesota is a better team at home than it is on the road. But yeah, it's in a dome. But at the same time, the Cowboys are just a much more complete team. And they pretty much have the much more better quarterback who's very accurate. And they have the better offensive line, the better offense as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys to win. I'll take them to cover because I think they'll find a way to score in the 30s, something like that, what they always do. So, yeah. I'll take the Cowboys both ways. I'll take the Cowboys to win and cover. And then last game, Monday Night Football, we got the Miami Dolphins against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites against the Miami Dolphins. This game right here can totally go either way because we know a lot of people could be picking the Dolphins to win because we know the Dolphins have been finding their momentum. They've been finding ways to win for their coach to save his job. Now, their defense so far is totally playing a lot better. Russell Douglas and Minkah Fitzpatrick's playing good, and their D line is playing good. Their linebackers are playing good. And so far, their offensive line is playing good. And Tua's playing better. And so far, the Steelers I don't think they're really good, but they did find a way to beat the Ravens. But at the same time, the Steelers aren't good against the run, and they're not good against the pass. And I think the Dolphins' offense is going to explode. They're going to make explosive plays. They're going to call some screen plays, some forward passes. Jalen Waddle could totally be a problem for that Steelers secondary. Darren Waller can as well. Because I don't think the Steelers' defense is going to be able to cover him, especially against the Dolphins, pass catchers. Especially the Steelers like to play again. They like to play a lot of man coverage. So, yeah. But in my opinion, the Dolphins do have the better offense. And the Steelers so far have an incompetent offense. Because we know the Steelers' offense did look good against the Ravens. We don't know what it's going to look against the Dolphins because the Dolphins do have a great pass defense, but they're not good against the run. And we know the Steelers aren't good against the run as well. And Achan's probably going to be going crazy. And he's been playing good. So basically, it could be a mismatch because I really think, the Steelers so far on defense, like, if they can force some turnovers and all of that and find a way that their offense can produce, I feel like they might have a chance to win the game. But I feel like the only way the Dolphins can win this game, if they can have time possession and their defense can, like, force a bad gain off of Aaron Rodgers and all that. So yeah, but it can go either way. But I feel like this game right here is gonna be close. The Dolphins probably need to win this game if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. But I don't know. The game is in Pittsburgh, where the weather could be cold. Like, who knows? But you know what? I don't think the Dolphins are good at all, and I don't think the Steelers are good. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and take the Steelers to win this game because I think the Steelers are a much more better version of the Dolphins, and I just really think they have more to play for a little bit because I think they're trying to look to get first place in the AFC North, and I just really think the Steelers so far pretty much have, like, I think their defense can dominate this game to at least force some turnovers and all that. But yeah, and the, like, force a bad game off of Tua. But yeah, we understand that TJ Watt's gonna be out, but I think the Steelers can do enough on defense to make some stops. And I think Aaron Rodgers can have a good game. DK Metcalf could be a problem, and so is as well. Because we know Dolphins, they like to play a lot of zone on defense. Like, yeah. So this will be a good game to watch. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just take the Steelers to win. I'll take Miami with the points because I think Miami can cover this game. I think it could be closer. I think it could be a little bit of a high scoring game, maybe like a 28-27, or maybe like a 34 to like 27, maybe like a 34-30, or maybe like a 27-24, 27-20, something like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Dolphins with the points, but I'll take the Steelers to win the game. But if this game is in Miami, I could totally go with Miami. So yeah, so I got the Steelers winning this game because I was so lucky of how the way they play against the Ravens. I thought their defense forced a lot of turnovers. They forced some sacks for get pressure on Lamar. I feel like they can do it against Tua. So yeah, that's why I think the Steelers will win. Well, those are all my Week 15 predictions for this week. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Just let me know in the comments below. What do you who you got winning Week 15? So again, it's Emmanuel Jones, big fan. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below what you guys think. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. You can see more of my videos and my playlist of all my weekly predictions. So yeah. Well, again, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.